In two readings, there's a word that brings back lots of memories for me, and that's the word plow, or plowing. As many of you know, I grew up in this area, and at one time, what surrounded Collegeville was all farmlands. And in the springtime of the year, the farmers would be out plowing, turning the soil over. Plowing turns the soil over. It gets rid of previous season's vegetation. And in our nice brown, rich clay soil that we have in this area, the fields were striped like sheets of music with this brown parallel lines. It was a sight that brings back lots of memories to me. I never had the skill to plow. My father plowed. I couldn't do that. It takes a little bit of skill to plow. And then another memory is of India. Remember one morning we left very early from a city, I forget what city we were in, traveling in the countryside and going through some village. And here's a man with two oxen in front of him. I'm not quite sure what species they were, but there were two oxen in front of him, and his plow, his wooden plow, was on his shoulder. That must have been a tremendous skill to have two oxen pull a single plow. But the purpose of the plowman is to make sure his lines are straight. He can't look back. But even looking back, it just turned over the soil of what was there before. So the plow has two functions, and the plowman has a function as well. The plow gets rid of the old. It gets everything, the soil, ready for new, vibrant growth, nurturing growth, new life, if you will. And the plowman, he's full of hope, because he's hoping that what he does will provide food for his family, means of money, perhaps, for his family. So there's two things here that are very related to, I think, the gospel today, because Jesus is talking about discipleship and how going forward you don't look back, but you trust in the Lord, a trust that we have to commit. I think today more than ever, we're being faced with so many challenges to be a disciple of Christ. Just what happened in the last week is going to put us all at odds with people that we know and love. And how do we get through that? How do we address those issues as disciples of Christ? Just as plowing can be difficult to do, being a disciple of Christ is difficult too, as the gospel tells us today. Leave your family. Don't worry about them. Move forward. Don't go back. Only go forward. But as Paul tells us, we always do this in love. We love our neighbors as ourselves, just as Jesus loves us. So we commit ourselves to love, and we commit ourselves to moving forward as disciples. Not always easy, but it will provide great fruit, not only for ourselves personally, but for others as well. So as we go forward, keep your lines straight, keep them parallel, and produce good fruit.